Hi Collective, welcome to my channel, Crystal Shadow Work. So this is really like a part 3 to the reading that I've been working on tonight. I've just had a lot going on, a lot of distractions that I've been just going off the same energy with the same deck because there's a lot of messages coming out, and I really feel like it's going to be very beneficial at this time because I know a lot of us are going through these major changes right now, having the eclipse closing of this year happen because a lot of things are being eclipsed out, and this year the theme is definitely around family, career, finances, your life path and purpose. It's about that evolution and for you evolving into your next stage of your soul's growth. And this time a lot of energies are closing out toxic patterns and cycles within your inner child. So a lot of woundings and healings and intense feelings are coming out, and unfortunately a lot of these things are coming out within family, friends. So it's been a very intense time for a lot of us because there's been a lot of dissolvings of families, relationships, things like that. There's also been mending too. Sometimes these things come out and things can be mended and healed, but really you're starting to really focus on you at this time, and you're getting awareness. Divine and source is kind of stepping in to eliminate blockages and make you aware of people that are holding you back, right? So it can be very life-changing at this time for a lot, and really a lot to process and take in. Now, the energy that I've been getting a lot is that this is a time where you're needing to show love for yourself, kind of have patience, relax, enjoy the moments. It's kind of like I was explaining in the last reading, this is like that energy where you're transitioning, like you're walking across a bridge, you're going from one life to another. It's like the eye of the storm, right? It's like you need that place. You just went through a lot, and now you're assessing, taking everything in, and you need to move forward, and there's more decisions, okay, that you're going to need to make, and more obstacles, or just for some of you it may be obstacles, things that you're going to have to overcome, you're going to have to strategize. For others of you it just changes. They may just be where you're divinely guided the entire way, so they won't be challenging for you to find ways. It's just you're going to have to accept them and allow. Yeah, they just tell me and for a lot of you, you just have to surrender. That's the biggest thing that's happening, is just you have to surrender, knowing that divine source, God, is aligning you with your divine life path and purpose. And sometimes these things are getting revealed to you that don't make sense at the time, right? Karma's coming down on people and situations. Some people may be removed from your life, or things may come about and you're not even sure. It's just gonna be like, did that just happen? Like, why is this happening? Like, you might not know why, all right? You need to accept that there's more than you know at this time. Like, this is literally the time where some people, you could be in relationships where people are just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, ending the relationship, and you're not getting the reason to why. For some of you, like, there's just the dark secrets you don't know. They're getting ready to get karma. They're kind of protecting you for ending things to not bring you down. There's many different ways that this can come about. I was just giving you a few examples. Do not claim them, right? If you know that it's for you, it's going to get revealed to you. That's what this is about. And it's about trusting that you're going to be aligned with what your divine life path and purpose is, right? So for a lot of you, like, it's going to be very quick changes. The eclipses really just eclipse things out like that. It's very quick, and that's often when you know that divine source has caused some sort of intervention. but it's to realign you. So it's like things are going to be removed, but then something is going to be coming to replace. Something better is going to be coming in. But you have to have that time to process those feelings and emotions and be ready for what's coming in. And that's kind of why at this moment you're really needing to feel emotions, you're needing to release, surrender, stay open to new things coming in. Keep your heart open to love, because some of these situations can be very challenging, right? So I wanted to give as much guidance as I could, because it's hard. Like for me, whenever like something happens, I like if there's a loss or a major change happens, because I'm a mom of 4, like I always feel like, okay, well, if we lose the source of income, I need to compensate somehow. We need to figure out a different approach or something. And I've always been this energy of like really needing to take charge. And I'm not saying not to take charge at this time, but it's kind of those like you need to allow opportunities to come in. You need to not micromanage so much. It's kind of just you need to let kind of some things manifest for themselves. And it's like some opportunities that are going to be coming in are not ready yet, right? And for some of you, it's like, as getting the last reading, you're fully not done yet. You may have already had situations happen that have to happen in a couple stages, and you might have already been through the first stage. Like you might feel as though you've fully released somebody from your life or let them go, but that might not be the case yet. And it's like you're going to be getting some sort of new opportunity. Or maybe for some of you, it's like inheritances is coming out, big money wins, all sorts of like luck and abundance is coming in. And it's like they don't want your enemies or these people that have been holding you back to like be a benefactor of what you have coming. So it's kind of like you're being kind of like protected and guarded until these situations are fully done for you to get what you have coming to you. So that's why they just want you to be in the moment. For some of you, it's like this is literally your time. Like you've done so much work, you just get to, there's no more going to be no more struggles, no more hard times. Like you just need to start being in this beautiful accepting energy, this energy of love and light, and just know that you're being divinely guided and protected. For a lot of you, it's like you literally have just been lifted up. You've been elevated and you're guided now, and God and Source has got you. You just got to show appreciation, be grateful and thankful, show that love, and focus on your dreams and your passions, and that's what's going to keep you elevated. And as I did that, as I was talking about this, I pulled out the Beloved card, Radical Acceptance. This came out in the last reading as well. So I mean, like, I put the cards back in, the same cards are coming out. But I just feel very strongly I wanted to keep going with this energy because there was more messages to come out. Look, closing door here, completion. You're definitely closing the door on a whole, like, I can't even express how big this is. Like, for some of you, this has just been like all your life, I feel. Because for some of you, like I said, you're really closing out deep emotional traumas. Like things that could have been deep within from childhood. So maybe your whole adult life, you've been in these same type of situations, or this, maybe you were just this one big paradigm that you were in. For a lot of you, it's like the narcissistic empath paradigm. So it's like every relationship that you went in, you were constantly attracting this type of energy because you had a deep emotional, like, abandonment wound, or, you know, not feeling loved enough, insecurities. So it was like, it was inevitable. For some of you, it could have literally been like spell work, things were wished upon you from maybe some of these family members, right? For some of you, it could have been close family members, like literally mother, father, siblings, you know, aunts, uncles, things like that. So you're being freed of that because it's too much, right? You've learned the lesson. You've done all of this work, and it's like you're not going to be misguided anymore, right? The cosmic womb, the divine feminine. Very strongly, a lot of divine feminines had ego wounds, right? And their ego wounds were different than the masculines, right? Think of it from a perspective of feminines need that. They're very nurturing, right? A lot of these feminines were not nurtured enough, so they had a wounding of not feeling as though they were enough. even though they were very loving to others, they didn't show themselves enough love. They were creating a lack. They didn't trust fully their own guidance. So they kind of went out for outside validation a lot. For a lot of these feminines, like, they would go to somebody. If this isn't yours, don't claim this is for somebody. Like, for somebody, like, say they always went to their mother or their father or a family member or something to ask them, like, well, this is what I think I should do. Like, and this person was steering them in the wrong direction, right? But see, if somebody finally realized their worth, their power, the divine feminines really got empowered to start loving themselves, to stop going outside for answers and to go within. This was part of the elevation process, and by doing so, they started to go against these karmics, and all it takes is to go against them for some of you just one time, and then you see them flip, like, what? I've never seen you act that way before, like, because I went against you, now all of a sudden you're just, like, writing me off, having nothing to do with me, like, what is that? It's like, unfortunately, because for some of you, some of these family members, in fact, they only wanted you to see your downfall. They were kind of just in your life because they wanted you to benefit them. They wanted you to be their benefactor, and if you weren't going to be, then you weren't going to make it. But really, they were kind of holding you back the entire time because they didn't want you to exceed more than them. They were afraid that you would have seen them for them, that you would have walked away from them, right? So for a lot of these feminines, it's like they woke up, they reclaimed their power and energy and started to stand up to these. For others of you, if you didn't, you literally could have had just these people removed, because God sees all, knows all, right? So, like I said, this is a very beautiful energy, this feminine. So you got to surrender and just accept, right? These things. Look at this magician's sword, confidence in your magic. So a lot of these feminines are starting to realize that they have everything that they need within, that they were giving their power away by asking for validation. And see, it was the ego. See, a lot of masculines, they overcompensated for love in materialistic things and in money. That made them feel in control. That made them feel love. So a lot of these masculines were, in fact, they would show love in the forms of money and material items, and that made them controlling because they didn't know how to show the love, right? So it's kind of like a lot of the masculines and feminines were dealing with the exact same, like, ego paradigm, ego shift, ego thing they needed to release and heal from, but it was kind of in different ways. But a lot of it stems down to problems growing up with childhood, not feeling loved enough, abandonment issues, insecurity, things like that, because a lot of divines were closing out this type of generational cursing, as we call it. Because when people hear cursing, they think that it means that, oh, somebody's, said, like, I curse you, your family's going to not ever, be able to make it for themselves and things like that. Now, yeah, for some, there are spell work with the words, but curses is like when a pattern keeps going and it's not been broken and it keeps giving it power. And it's like, if you say that you're cursed, you're cursed. If you say that something is going to always be the same way, it will be. And it's one of those things, like, if somebody is damaged, right, or broken, or have a trauma bond, and they go through life with that trauma bond, and then they have a child, and they have that trauma bond while they were creating that child. Now that child's going to have that wounding because of the energetic frequency and because it's carried on. Now, if that child heals from that wounding, it stops. But unfortunately, these woundings have been so strong that they've been carried on for some generations, and they keep going down the same path. So it's kind of like, a lot of us divines that are here, we are breaking these generational curses because nobody before us has been able to break it yet. So it's like, chances are, if the insecurities that you have, that you not feeling loved enough, that cause these woundings, your own parents had the exact same trauma, and it was from their parents, do you see? And then their parents had the exact same trauma. So you see what I mean? Like, it got carried over because nobody overcame it, and they got stuck in these same cycles of not showing love the right way or not reciprocating it the correct way. And I explained it perfectly in something that I noticed with me and my twin in the last reading that I did off of this energy, where I was talking about, I noticed in the exact moment that we were projecting on each other. And in the past, if we wouldn't have noticed it, it could have created an argument, a separation, because we get to where we both like to walk away from, we don't like that intense energy. So we are the ones that, like, when there's an argument or when there's something that could turn into an argument, instead of talking about it, we'll walk away from it, thinking that if we avoid it, we're not going to talk about it and argue, right? But then what does it do? It's kind of like pushing it under the rug. It stays there. So then the next time that comes about, it's going to be more intense. And we've had a big communication barrier. So lately we've been making ourselves talk about these situations in the moment, but remaining calm and taking different approaches. But it was just like, in that moment, I was actually seeing how he was projecting on me, and how that it wasn't even truly how he felt. He was being so defensive because of a wound that he had. And just by me being able to see that was allowing me to find a different approach and to kind of show the compassion and not get upset by the comments that I heard, because the comments that he was feeling as though he felt he was being attacked, but it was really just the fear that he was thinking I was, and to the miscommunication. And a lot of times that happens, and people don't communicate enough, and then it creates a lot of these insecurities, and unfortunately in today's times, or have been for a while, right, with drugs and alcohol and things like that, people will go to those to kind of calm down or vent. But then what does alcohol do? They block the chakras, and then people can't control their emotions and feelings, and then sometimes things happen where people go make mistakes, and because they're under the influence, right? And then that's when the devil gets in too and can control and manipulate you when you're running of low vibrations, and then when you're closing off to God because you're blocking your chakras. That's what I mean. And then it can be so daunting, and then before you know it, like a situation where there was just miscommunication, and one wasn't seeing what the other meant because they were projecting out of fear or worry, turned into this big old betrayal thing. And then that's what I mean, like, it's gotten so out of control. So sometimes it's just, you can't hold on to why things happen. You gotta release and let them go. You have to know that you just gotta work with these the more work and energy that you put in, the more forgiveness, the more acceptance, right? So you just have to accept that a lot of this wasn't even your fault, right? It was carried over, and what do we always try to do, right? We try to be better than our parents, because that's what you think, everybody's learning. There's no right way to do everything. Earth is about learning and lessons and karma and karmic, paths and all of that, and things that you work through. So anyway, that's what I wanted, that part I wanted to get out, is that there's major changes happening at this time. A part of knowing that we're shifting to this 5D Christ consciousness, and this restoring peace, love, and harmony, a lot of us chosen ones, twin flames, we're here breaking these generational curses. And that's why our twin flame journeys are so challenging and daunting and everything. And a lot of people don't understand them. A lot of people are jealous of them, but if only they knew what they were really like. That's what I mean. There's too much of magic they put around these twin flames, because really, we're warriors sent here from the heavens to, clear karma out, not just within our lives, within our bloodlines, within our families, within our environment, within our friends. A lot of us, we have multiple missions it's more than just a twin flame. That's why I say a lot of twins, that they don't even know that they're chosen, that they have special talents and abilities and gifts as well. That if they were to get away from just the focus on this love mission and realize that, 1919 on the clock, that's what they were supposed to be about, because you were never supposed to go looking for love. It was constantly, your twin was supposed to be a catalyst for you down your spiritual journey and path, help you different levels of evolution and growth, and that we're so focused on healing and fixing this world that union is not meant to come together for quite some time, because you wouldn't in fact have time for love, because there's so much other healing and so much other things that you were going to be doing here while you were living your life, right? And you don't often hear that in twin flame readings. So, why would people want to pursue them? Why would people want, things like that. But the twins, I get the energy of being excited because the twins are very much setting the path because, yes, when they can heal and they come together, it's so beautiful. And the love and the passion that you see for one another is so amazing. But it's always, too, a constant duality. It's like you constantly have to work at things, because there's so much that we're healing from within. And then when you're with your counterpart, that's like being with yourself. So it's like you really got to work with that. I mean, it does have the benefits and things like that. But it's cute because it's like sometimes it's like I feel like I'm arguing with myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to go nowhere. Like, I just got to stop and accept he's my twin. So everything I say, he's going to say. And then it's constantly like, say I get aggravated and I want to pull back. Then he's pulling back. And then sometimes we'll go a long time without talking to each other because we're both in this energy. We're feeling each other's energy of I don't want to talk right now. So then it's like somebody has to go, all right, I need to stop this. And when you have like a lot of stubbornness in your chart, and there's so many different twins with different placements, I can only imagine, we're both water signs that, in my connection, but some mesh together better than others. I'm sure there's twins out there where their twin is the complete opposite of their zodiac too, and so there's so many different things, but that's what's so beautiful about these things, the dualities. We're here fixing the world. So, anyways, I felt to explain that a little bit within this reading. So I got a gathering around the power of your community, and they keep showing me this empty well. See, a lot of you are going through this. You're realizing that things are falling apart, that you're not going to be able to get the resources or the things that have been working for you are not anymore. And it's like that well is like tapped. Like, you ain't going to get anything else out of this well. So you need to just let it go, right? Look, fallen angel. All these cards are off the bottom from the previous reading. Look, moon maiden. I'm going to take that one. This is about the new minute. I've been mixing up my words lately too. I don't know why. I don't think we have a retrograde coming, but moon maiden, new beginnings. So to me, that's very beautiful because it's right underneath closing the door. So when you're closing one door, you're going to be opening a new door. And then look at this, vanishing mirror, ego, sublimation. What was I talking about was the biggest thing within these twins. It was about ego, right? And it would make sense that it would be the duality, that it would be both parts, right? Feminine having one side, masculine having the other, right? So, but yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful. I love this deck. It's the shamanic, the shaman dreams. Like, it's so powerful. I've just been playing with this just all day. And that's why there's 3 different parts to this reading. I don't know. I'll probably label them part 1, part 2, part 3 if you feel guided to all of them. You can definitely take a look at them. All right. So, where to start? Well, I guess let's start with the moon maiden. See, new ideas, new beginnings, curiosity. It invites you to shine with your own light and have the radiant curiosity to ask anyone who offers you a mouthful of dogma, why do you believe this is so? Question everything as soon as given. Hold on. Answer only to yourself. It's basically saying, it's like, if people are asking you, like, why are you perceiving this? Why are you doing this? Like, you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to give them your energy. You're being mindful of the people you are giving your energy to, and you're starting to realize the people that are questioning you, the people that are going against you, they're trying to wear you down with having you explaining yourself. And part of the Divine Feminines were learning this. They were not giving their power away anymore. Not needing to get that validation as to why. It's like before, a lot of feminines were very much, if a family member would say something like, well, I don't believe you should do this, they felt obligated to just explain what they wanted to do and overly, like, almost like sugarcoat it and just to get that energy right where they would believe in you. but it was like they didn't realize that they were needing that validation. See, it's like for some of you, it's like this family member knew that. They knew it would drain you. It would make you second guess yourself. It would make you feel as though you weren't good enough. And for a lot of you, like this feminine probably did not get like any validation growing up. Like probably didn't get any of this, like you're doing a good job, you know, or good for you, you know. So it was like in her adult life, she's been going through waiting for people to tell her how good she's doing, how all of this, when all along she never needed that. It's just because she didn't have that. That's a wounding that she was closing out. That you're the reason. You give yourself that praise, you know? So it's like, this is, you know, the time where it's like, if you've been working hard at something, you know, congratulate yourself, buy yourself a gift, you know, take yourself out to dinner, do something, you know, for you, right? And that's what I feel that they're been starting to do. So new ideas, new beginnings. Announce the new you to yourself first. Reveal it slowly to the world, right? Because the validation doesn't matter, right? So keep, secrecy is important, right? For it is protecting your new face, and it's kept very precious and close to you. Because for some of you, like, you're not even sure, or you're going to be surprised to find out these people that have been putting you down. For some of you, like, you weren't able to see it because it was these close family members and friends, and the way that people do it, you're not even seeing it, right? So yeah, so doors are closing, like I said. So some of these things could have happened so quickly, out of your control. You need to allow. So endings, completions, your greater calling. When the closing door shows up, it is a call to recognize an ending and terminate a relationship, job, task, situation that has been dragging on far too long. Unlock the cage you've been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with the routine. Consider what you think and how you feel and your true heart's calling. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door, but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Which is very interesting they say a solid wall, because I was talking about in my last reading how I had felt to get some creative energy, so I moved my desk. I just seen 27 o'clock. See, I've had my desk facing the wall, and like I was looking right at like this white wall, right? And so I thought I'd make it pretty, and I put a tapestry up and all of that. And then I realized that in Feng Shui, my desk was facing the west, which is not a good direction. So I was looking the best placement of the desk, and would open it up. And I was reading about how it should face the door. So I turned my desk, right? So that way I'm facing my door, but instead it's opened up to my whole room, right? And I know already I just feel first day just more like I have more options, more energy, more inspiration. Like I can start to feel that because I'm not like shut in like I was, right? It really changes energy to move things around in your home, trying different angles, perceptions. It allows you to see. 'Cause a lot of times I sit at my desk and I meditate, right? And I pull on these energies. See, and we were getting the tidy card and the clean card, and I was telling people this is time where you need to focus on cleaning your house, things like that. But I was talking about, so I find it interesting because that is what I said, right? If you do not see a door but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. So it's definitely a guidance for me that you guys, you need to change things up in your home. Maybe that's going to get you a new perspective, because they were showing me that. Muster up the courage to say no more. Remember as well that no one else needs to be wrong in order for you to do what you've known you've needed to do for a long time. If a door to a project or relationship has been closed to you, knocking on it, you have tried that already and no one answered, at least not in the way you would have liked, take this gift, difficult or as painful as it may be, and move on. You know, so like for some of you, you're trying to go off of an old situation. This is where you're being very called to try something new, right? Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path, another destination. Better to recognize this early rather than later. How many of us leave a relationship or job years after we knew it was time to move on, right? So sometimes, for some of you, it's like, you might be aware of what's changing because you knew it wasn't working for you. And I just seen 30 minutes on the clock. So 3000, and that could be an angel number for some of you to take a look at. Is it, baby? So when the beloved appears, it requires 100% of your heart, body, and soul. Don't try to squeeze the beloved into your schedule. Drop the busyness and receive the one you have been waiting for. Wow. Know that this card comes as a mirror to show you the divine within and invite you to radical acceptance of everything you consider beautiful or ugly in your being. The beloved may not be a person at all. This might be a business venture, a project, an adventure calling your full attention. Love it, let it light you up, and give it your all. Surrender to the truth. You know that you are gaining a passport to bliss, even when it feels that you're being consumed by the fire of the beloved. Do not hold back or be afraid, for you will emerge transformed. Surrender is the key. Allow yourself to be loved. See, and this is so beautiful because it's following the surrender card. So you guys need to accept that you are so beautiful the way that you are. And unfortunately, a lot of these karmic family members were blocking beautiful connections too. They were blocking lovers. Some of you are like you were already together with your divine, your counterpart, but you weren't in union. Union is when you're in a vibrational frequency match. 3131, 3133 are more angel numbers they've seen. So for some of you, like they were blocking you, so they were removed. What's the same? Usher the harsh critic out the door and shut your eyes and ears to the judgment of others who have not been ignited by the divine. Know that if you have somebody that's being overcritical or telling you or trying to get in the way between you and a love connection and really speaking their mind a lot and won't leave you alone about it, it's often that you're probably with who you're supposed to be, because that's when the devil dispatches devil agents into our family, into our friends, into our loved ones, thinking that we'll listen, because the devil don't want these unions to come together. It does not. So be careful. You are not seduced by false promises or falling prey to extraordinary ability to sabotage your dreams and desires. So be careful that you don't let the devil in your mind too. Recognize the many faces of the beloved and welcome them into your heart. You'll be so glad that you did. Do not hold back or be afraid. Wow. So right next to surrender, dances on one foot, a balancing act. So when dances on one foot shows up, you are called to find a new balance. Just as a dancer moves gracefully in each pose, no matter how precarious balance a step may be, you must bring equanimity into a situation before you, no matter how difficult a relationship seems. If you're putting too much effort into managing your life, work, relationship, family, you are missing the point. If you have to be dancing while juggling your entire life, knowing that any one time half of it's going to be up in the air. It's not that you're doing too much or finding it impossible to catch up, rather than you are confusing readiness with preparation. You will never ever be fully prepared for all the challenges in life, but you can be ready to say yes to a new invitation the universe offers you. Live in a state of yes to spirit and no to everyone, not infused with life, romance, vitality, and the sacred. You are challenged not to work with the resources available to you and not to be seduced by the book. Hold on, baby. Come here, baby. Come here. So you are challenged not to work with the resources available to you and not be seduced. Come here. I'll unclip it. Come here. You're so silly. Life has provided you with everything you need to accomplish your goals and fulfill your mission. missed that part. It said, you are challenged not to work with the resources available to you and not be seduced by the belief, if only I had more. So life has provided you with everything you need to accomplish your goals and fulfill your mission. That's beautiful. This is probably why you're being called right now to live in the moment, to love what you have, right? Relax. When it feels like you are losing your balance, do not contract, holding your arms close to your chest, you will fall. Instead, reach out and extend them fully, saying yes to Spirit's steady hands. Okay, so it's saying that. So it's saying, though, even though it may seem as though there's a lot of things going on that seem to be making you lose your balance, don't think that, nope, this isn't the time, because there's always going to be things that are going to be coming that are going to make you feel unbalanced. So instead of saying, nope, this isn't the timing, too much is going on, they're saying, open your arms to Spirit and be open. They are going to help you. And it's so beautiful because, like, that's something I was doing. Like, I was trying to get, like, I got upset earlier. A lot of times when there's a lot going on in my house, like, I find it hard to work and concentrate and plan. And, like, so I've been working a lot on moving things around, trying to calm down the energies in my home and everything. And like I was telling myself, like, gosh, if I can't get everything calm in my house, how can I work on building this business up and all of that? 3616. I just stay on the clock. So this timely reassurance that they're like, no, keep going. Things. There's always going to be things. I'm going to have 4 kids. So of course, there's always going to be things going on. So when it feels like you are losing your balance, yeah. So it's very beautiful. So just, that's why they're asking you to reach out to Spirit, you know, Spirit, divine source, and that's asking for guidance and help that you're gonna be getting from within, right? Not looking for it outwardly, right? It's like when you get to me the guidance, when you go to readers and stuff like that, to me this is the type of stuff you should be getting, right? This guidance right here, where I'm telling you that source is telling you things like this, balance on one foot, that is okay to have a lot going on. But don't give up, keep going, ask for guidance now from Spirit within, which direction to go. See, and that's where I get upset when people, you know, get into the readings too much, and then they're told that, oh, somebody around you is, you know, being untrustworthy and causing infidelity or whatever, and then you go on a witch hunt looking for that, and then people end relationships over this stuff because they think as though that their person is being unfaithful because it was said in a reading. And you always have to use your discernment and trust what you feel, because things can be mistaken. And that's why I talk a lot about in the last reading how so quickly something can be mistaken over a simple and just like a simple miscommunication, and then getting mixed into drugs and alcohol, and then devils can come in, and then, you know, so many things can go down different ways. But it's like knowing the reasons sometimes why situations, how they get out of hand and out of control, and having that forgiveness and realizing that it wasn't done upon you intentionally, can allow you to have that forgiveness and heal and work from it, and not throw things completely away. But see, if you listen to outsiders' point of view, sometimes there's family members that may go, no, that person intentionally wanted to fight, wanted to cheat on you or whatever, so they caused the fight to go do this. And then just by you hearing that, then you're thinking that, oh, well, that's right, that must be what happened. And that person could be very much setting you right away from your divine, and that's not even why it happened. A lot of these masculines that run or chasers, because that energy is so intense, and when you're not healed and you have those wounds, it triggers them. And a lot of the triggers that happen are insecurities and fears, and sometimes that's why it gets these masculines or feminines, whoever, to run, right? Some want to be chased when they run, and others don't see it that way. Other times it's literally fear, insecurities. Some feel they're not lovable enough, or they're not good enough, so that'll lead them to go down a different path. But it's because they weren't ready yet. And that's why you try to get safeguarded, to stay away from each other till you're ready, so don't hurt each other. But some of these twins come together, and then it's too much, so then they get pulled apart, and then they go down different paths, and because they don't want to feel heartache, like a lot of the masculines, they don't want to feel heartache, so then they, they'll go down a path, of, just, some go down the path of just, having sexual encounters to try to overcome, because men, that drive is very high. So I liked it could happen on either side, masculine or feminine, but I don't like to single out the masculines, but I'm just saying, most masculines very high, so they'll go down those, because to me, a lot of masculines, they can detach emotionally, so they can, it can literally be where there was no love connections whatsoever. It was just physical, but they'll do that to distract themselves and build themselves up and feel as though they're good enough because they can have women attracted to them. But sometimes, feminines can't accept that their masculine had went to other partners and stuff, 40 on the clock. So that can ruin these relationships forever. And that's why it's always comes down to free will. And that's why union is not always about coming together. But that's what I mean, is these situations can be these twins can be they can be very destroying, at the same time. But it was never about, like, intentional, because, see, twins relationships can come off and appear to be toxic or karmic, because they can do the same type of things that happen in other relationships, infidelity and cheating and all of that. But it's not intentional. It's not like they say, I'm gonna go cause this person severe pain and misery. I'm gonna go cheat on them. I'm gonna do all of this, and then I'm gonna allow them to be sad. You know what? It's different. It's not truly malicious, because twins are divines of the light. They're just, a lot of these broken wounds cause fear, and then if they get mixed with drugs and alcohol, where the devil can step in and then cause temptations, or then the devils come in because they're attracted to the divine. So then sometimes these masculines are even kind of seeked out, right, by devils and lust. There's been a lot of spell work too. Sometimes your own family members have been projecting on you guys and sending temptresses and lust spells and all sorts of stuff to tear you guys apart. Like, it's just crazy. So that's what I mean, like, you really can't listen to what other people say, because from an outsider's point of view, or people that are not on the Twin Flame Collective, they're not going to understand that it takes a lot of forgiveness, and ultimately that's what we're here teaching, that forgiveness, love and light, healing, and they take a lot to overcome, right? And some of these divines have been so damaged in their childhood, because we go into deep, dark families to heal the trauma. Some of these divines get so broken at a young age that it completely changes their lives. Like, because they were in such traumatic childhoods, it led them down paths of drugs and alcohol and abuse, and so they go into, like, solicitation, they go into drug abuse. So some of them, are severely damaged, and the more, unfortunately, harder the life, and people that have went down the solicitation path, all of the demons and everything that they've taken on because of energy exchange of demons through sex. And those are all attachments. Everybody you ever sleep with, you create a attachment. And when you sleep with people that are broken, you are taking on all of their demons. Somebody can get so eaten up with demons that it takes a very long time to overcome those ties, and people never do. 43, 44. So that's what I mean. I totally understand why some twins just, they cannot come into union. So it is a very powerful thing. But know that just because you have a twin and you don't come to union doesn't mean that you're not going to be spiritually evolving, helping each other, and constantly pulling on each other's energy. Because you are that person. 4400, 4404, all angel numbers that are coming out. So see, the twins are definitely, they're wanting me to channel messages for that, and those are going to be my next readings that I'm doing. 4414, as I should be doing a lot, as I am on the twin flame journey and collective. So yeah, I wanted to and I'm just waiting. It's going to be 4444. Angels are with you, guidance. You can look up all those numbers. They're for whoever. And 4433. They're all messages that whatever you guys feel guided to. All right, so yeah, I guess I definitely wanted me to get that out there. And there it is, 34, 44. So, that guy's, there's so many different things. Like, you really got to not compare yourself to others. You got to really just trust what you feel. It's up to you. If you feel you can overcome that, if you feel as though your twin can overcome those things too, if you're in any of those situations, you know, if you can both heal from that, come together, then you're not going to be toxic for each other. So yeah, there could be some of this closing the cycles and doors could be closing out those old paradigms, those old trauma bonds, those old feelings, and now these new beginnings. I want to look, yeah, because look, we do have the vanishing mirror here. So a lot of twins could finally be breaking those trauma bonds, right? And not going in those self-destructive paths anymore. So ego, sublimination, letting go of self-centeredness, becoming a vessel of possibility. Isn't that what it's about too? It's that self-centeredness when you only care about yourself, right? So imagine looking into a mirror and seeing only what you see now. If you can let your self-definition soften, moving beyond the veil to your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again. Who could you be? What could you see if you reflected? You allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now. Nothing less is required of you now. In this moment, let go of who you think you are and allow a new you to emerge. You will recognize yourself as what you are and partner in co-creation and service to the divine. That's very beautiful. I love that. Wow. So definitely being confident in your power. This definitely goes along with this card right here, right? Magician's Sword. Let's read that one. That'll be the last card, and then I'll call this reading. I'm almost at an hour. Okay. So confidence in your magic. Nothing can stop you, the beauty you seek. So when the Magician's Sword appears, you are called to cut the cords that bind you to old thought forms and beliefs. Wow, isn't that what I was saying, right? Or to friends who are not true. With the power of the Magician's Sword, nothing can stop you, hurt you, or turn you away from the beauty you seek or the goal you desire with all your heart. The sword is a tool, not a weapon, so make sure you wield it wisely for the greater good. Find the stuck places where you are kept tethered to a toxic person, a particular situation. I don't know why I just said situation. It says a particular location, so for some of you, a situation. Or a faulty thought or belief, or let the blade do its magic. You have a large endowment of magic available to you when you believe in miracles. But don't look to the heavens to grant you a wish. Look within. Use the Magician's Sword to cut through limiting beliefs. Remember that all beliefs are limiting, and focus your intention in order to create what you wish. You have all the tools you need for the task at hand. You need to only muster the wherewithal to deploy some weird word. Wherewithal. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Okay. To deploy the resources you have. When the Magician's Sword appears, it is time to get moving. This is not a tool for contemplation, for gazing at the finely polished edge. It is an instrument calling for decisive action. And remember, the sword is alive with the wisdom you can summon to help you find the best course of action. Do not hesitate. Act. Wow, that's beautiful. And right next to that is gathering around the power of community. So for some of you, maybe you can bring something in within the community. I guess I'm going to feel called to take a look at this one. Okay. There are times when you need positive reinforcement from others. Perhaps your journey has made you tired or just reaching the finish line. Know that you are not alone regardless of who you think you are. People gather around you to help with the next step as you bring forth the cosmos beauty of life. I'm getting to help you, but don't look for that validation, right? There has never been another you before, and you have a unique relationship with your friends, family, communities, and those who gather to help you in the unseen realms. Community can very much be your spiritual community too. Source, spirit, all the realms are helping at this time. I've been doing realm readings too, tapping into the unicorns, the fairies, the dragons, the elementals. Those are very beautiful readings down below too if you're interested. Now is the time to allow assistance from others. Ask for it and trust that you will receive it. For you are safe and secure right now in this moment, truly supported in your beautiful, amazing, complicated life. So you are heard by the angels, witnessed by the divine, and loved. Yes, loved now and always by life itself. Whatever your core, you will find help. You need to achieve what you desire, and you will not have to do this alone. Count on it. Wow, I love that. All right, guys, that was this reading. Hopefully it helped you. Definitely share it to others. Feel free to like the video or comment below. Definitely subscribe if you guys have not, as if you were guided to me, you were for a reason. Know that. All right, love you guys. Bye.